Dowd resigns as Trump's lead lawyer in special counsel inquiry. Washington. The president's lead lawyer for the special counsel investigation, Dowd, resigned on Thursday, according to two people briefed on the matter. Days after the president called for an end to the inquiry, Mr. Dowd, who took over the president's legal team last summer, had considered leaving several times in recent months, and ultimately concluded that Mr. Trump was increasingly ignoring his advice, one of the people said. Under Mr. Dowd's leadership, Mr. Trump's lawyers had advised him to cooperate with the special counsel, Robert S. Mueller, who is investigating Russia's election interference and possible ties to Trump associates, as well as whether the president obstructed the inquiry. Mr. Dowd's departure comes as the president has made clear he is seeking a more aggressive response to Mr. Mueller's investigation. The president has in recent days begun publicly assailing Mr. Mueller, a shift in tone that appears to be born of Mr. Trump's concern that the investigation is bearing down on him more directly. He has also privately insisted he should sit for an interview with the special counsel's office, even though Mr. Dowd believed it was a bad idea. Mr. Trump now is veering toward the combative approach supported by his longtime personal lawyer, Markey Kasowitz, who stepped back last summer but was still in contact with the president occasionally over the past several months. The president was said to be pleased with Mr. Dowd's resignation, as he had grown frustrated with him, particularly over the weekend, when Mr. Dowd called on the Justice Department to end the special counsel investigation. Mr. Dowd, who had forged relationships with the special counsel's office, said at first that he was speaking for the president, but later backtracked. The president was angered with Mr. Dowd's handling of the episode, telling people it was ham-handed and Mr. Dowd should not have backed off his initial statement. Mr. Dowd has told people that the president has recently implored him to stay but was said to be considering quitting on Monday, which he denied in an interview that night. "I'm sitting here working on the president's case right now," he said, despite claiming otherwise on Twitter. The president has expressed displeasure with his legal team for weeks. He has met with the veteran Washington lawyer Emmett T. Flood, who represented President Bill Clinton during impeachment, about coming inside the White House to serve as his top lawyer. Mr. Dowd and Mr. Secchiolo did not know about the meeting at the time, and after the New York Times reported about it, were said to be concerned that their standing with the president had fallen. He tried to reassure them on Twitter. The failing New York Times purposely wrote a false story stating that I am unhappy with my legal team on the Russia case and am going to add another lawyer to help out. Wrong. I am very happy with my lawyers, John Dowd, Ty Cobb, and J. Secchiolo, Mr. Trump wrote. They are doing a great job. It is not clear who will take over the team. Mr. Secchiolo, the president's other personal lawyer for the investigation, is liked by Mr. Trump, and brought on this week one of his longtime friends, Joseph DeGenova, to join the team. Ty Cobb, the White House lawyer for the investigation, came aboard around the same time as Mr. Dowd and Mr. Secchiolo, and advocated on behalf of cooperating with the special counsel. But the president has discussed with close associates in recent days whether to fire Mr. Cobb, while reassuring Mr. Cobb that he had no plans to do so. John Dowd is a friend and has been a valuable member of our legal team, Mr. Secchiolo said. We will continue our ongoing representation of the president and our cooperation with the Office of Special Counsel.